Hello and welcome to tedyCINEMAsaloon presents AaryanTalks. I am your Aryan, the world's best audience. Today's segment is AaryanTalks and we have a guest with us. Normally I plan a very beautiful introduction for the guest that has appeared on the show. But today I am resisting the urge to speak a lot about this particular man. I'll give you one thing that my friend has said when this person was appearing on our show. He said that, he's coming. Okay, we almost have Ramoji Rao in our show. So that's the kind of intro that I got. And I have to tell you, this man has been an FTII alumni and ETV program head. Worked extensively in United Television, and this man is none other than Pawan Kumar MANVI, whom people dearly call as MANVI. And I have one more sentence, sir. I forgot that I wanted to tell. Audience, this man is the behind man of many men. Many people who studied in RAFT do not, come out without saying his name. He's the man behind many men and many things that you have seen on screen. So, without much further ado, I would like to give the whole thing to Pawan Kumar MANVI. So, sir, welcome to our show, sir.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Pleasure is all ours, sir. That's not a statement that you can say. It's ours.
As I told you earlier, it is always a pleasure to talk to young people about cinema and other things. It is nice to know that so many young people are interested in the medium, and it is for a teacher. It is always wonderful to talk to them, to young people about, especially about this medium. Yeah.
Thank you. So, in AaryanTalks, we have this one question that we ask every guest who appear on.
Yeah.
The question is, why do you do what you do? Now, this question can have an answer that can run up to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It depends on your passion. Why do you do what you do?
In life, at some stage in your life, you understand, you realize that this is your passion. When I started my career, I'm actually a student of economics. I did my MA economics from Usmania University. Mm-hmm. But before that, I was admirer of theatre very much. I used to do a lot of theatre in Hyderabad, in Canada. My mother tongue is Kannada, although I hail from Telangana and I was born and brought up in Hyderabad. But my mother tongue is Kannada. So I used to do a lot of Kannada theatre. Actually, I wanted to go to National School of Drama to study theatre after my graduation. But then what happened was, during my graduation, there was in 1968, I was born in 51, so I'm now 72. So in 1968, when I was studying for my graduation, there was an agitation for Telangana state then. Telangana has been formed recently, about 4 years back. But back then also there was an agitation for the creation of Telangana state. And then what happened was, when I used to go to college every day, and then there used to be strike, and then the college and the classes are cancelled. And then what to do when the classes are cancelled? We just go and drop into a theatre and watch a film. And slowly, I started liking the medium. It started fascinating me. And then I decided that no longer theatre. I'll try to do something in cinema. And then after my graduation, I could have applied for FTI, but I thought, let me go and do post-graduation for 2 years so that I will be more mature and if something happens in life, I can fall back on my economics. So then,
Sir, let me tell you, nothing has changed in the current generation. You just mentioned about Telangana movement, right? That's the exact same thing happened in my college. I studied in JNU Anantapur, and it's the same thing, Telangana movement, and we used to sit and watch films. That's the same thing. I did BTech, and I'm doing a software job. Same reasons that you're saying. Nothing has changed, sir.
True. But back then I was watching cinema every day, because every day, you go to college, and then there used to be a lot of theaters around my college. I studied in Nizam College. There were about 15 to 20 theaters around that college. So it was easy to drop into a theater and watch films. And then, after my post-graduation, I applied for FTII, and then I got admission, and there, my eyes opened. Prior to that, I had never thought that cinema is such a, profound medium. For me, it was an entertainment medium. For me, although I was exposed to Satyajit Ray and Mrinal Sen, Indian cinema, but I was not exposed to any international cinema. Back then I still considered Raj Kapoor, although Raj Kapoor is a great director, but for me at that time he was the greatest director. Then when I joined FTII and then started seeing, this range of films from Italy, from Japan, from Sweden, when I was exposed to all this cinema, I realized how uneducated I was about cinema. And then the more I watched those films, I became more passionate. And as a person also, I grew so much, in those 3 years there. My entire personality changed because I was exposed to such wonderful cinema. They were really works of art, And then when you start seeing those filmmakers repeatedly, their entire body of work, then you really, develop passion for the medium. So I became a total cinema fanatic, after in those 3 years. And then, therefore, when you come out of the institute, what else to do? Either you have to do film or television. You're not fit to do anything else, right? Because you become so addicted to the medium. So that's why I did, in the past, I graduated in 1974 from FTII. So from 74 till recently, till you can say 2021, I was doing what, I loved it. And then I remained young because, although my age is 72, but I still, my mind and heart is young because of cinema.
And I have to tell you, sir, you don't look 72. You look somewhere probably 50 plus, around at least 20 years. 72, oh my God.
That is thanks to cinema, because even today I love to watch films, but I keep on watching my old classics, because they are like works of art. It's like Shakespeare in literature, and these filmmakers like that in cinema. So you can keep on watching them as many times as you want, but still you will find something new in those films. Although 50 years have elapsed, 60 years have elapsed, after these films were made, but still, they have so much relevance because they're really profound works of art. So that's why when you asked, why did you do what you're doing? Because I do, because I had tremendous passion for cinema.
Super.
Yeah.
I would like to tell the audience about your journey, sir. A lot of it. But like I said in the beginning, I'm resisting the urge to say.
No.
I want you to take us through your journey so that it won't be just for me. I know some parts of it. I got some information from it and got connected here and there. But if you take us through your journey, it will be I will be pleased to hear about it, sir.
No, actually, when I was doing my final year in FTII, A year prior to that, Kannada cinema was really doing wonderful things because a lot of good cinema was made in Kannada. So banks used to give loans, and at that time, a black and white feature film in Kannada was costing about 2 to 3 lakhs. That's all. So Girish Kasarwalli was he was senior to me by 2 years. We were very close friends because I assisted him in the institute, and then he had graduated and made Ghatashraddha. Ghatashraddha, which went on to get back the Golden Lotus Award, the best film of that year. In fact, after Satyajit Ray, I think Girish Kasarwalli is the only chap who won maximum number of Golden Lotus because he continued to make good films. So then I thought, after graduation, since Kannada is my mother tongue, I will also make films in Kannada. So, but sadly, what happened was because the banks were giving loans for Kannada cinema, people who did not know cinema, who did not understand cinema, many zoology lecturers, botany lecturers, the English teaching lecturers, they got the loan, they took good stories from literature. But because, it is not enough to have a good story in cinema, it has to be cinematic, you have to tell the story through the means of cinema. You cannot tell it as the author has told you in the novel. So then they made such bad films, continuously about 10 to 15 bad films came in Kannada and cinema, and the whole movement collapsed. So when I went to Bangalore to explore making Kannada cinema, I know by that time the whole scenario had changed. And another factor which went against me was that I was not from Bangalore. I was not from Karnataka. I was from Telangana, Andhra Pradesh at that time. So they thought that this man, how can he make a Kannada film? And when I tried to make film in Hyderabad, they said, this man is a Kannada man. How can he make a Telugu? So I was caught between these two languages. So I tried to, in fact, I had scripted a film because at the time, I was very influenced by Czechoslovakian New Wave. I don't know, Aryan, whether you have seen any of these films made by some brilliant filmmakers from Czechoslovakia during 60, 64. It was like New Wave, French New Wave. Czechoslovakian cinema also had a new wave. Some brilliant filmmakers like Milos Forman, you must have heard. He made One Flew Over Cuckoo's Nest, Amadeus, those kind of films, and then Yeri Menzel. So these kind of brilliant filmmakers made beautiful cinema, and I was terribly influenced by that school of cinema. So I had scripted a film, in that style of filmmaking. The style is very, very simple, nothing flashy. But at the same time, it is so interestingly told. You should watch, you young filmmakers, people who are interested in cinema, they should watch a film called Closely Watched Trains.
Closely Watched Trains.
Watched Trains by Yeri Menzel, Jirimenzel. He's the filmmaker. If you watch that film, you will really get the essence of that Czechoslovakian New Wave cinema. You should watch. If you are not watched it, I recommend that. I recommend that you should watch it. Several DVDs are available. So then, then I had scripted the film. I tried for 1 year in Bangalore, and I had got a producer. And Anant Nag was supposed to start acting the film, and then at the last minute he backed up. So then I couldn't stay much in Bangalore, so I came back to Hyderabad. And then Hyderabad, again, as I told you, making a Telugu film was little difficult because Telugu did not have that kind of cinema at all. Kannada at least had some. Telugu was just commercial cinema, so it was very difficult. So I thought, instead of making a bad film, let me do good television. So then one of my friend was working in Doordarshan. Then I started making some programs for Doordarshan. And Doordarshan at that time was really good. You could really do some wonderful work, not like today's Doordarshan, not like today's television. So, and then slowly I got sucked into television. I started liking that medium too, because it was little different from cinema, but a lot of elements of cinema were there in the medium. So then I joined Doordarshan, and I made programs for a small station called Gulbarga in Karnataka. It was a very Government of India had started a site experiment for to make some educational programs for rural areas. Some parts of Karnataka, some parts of Andhra Pradesh, some parts of Gujarat were selected. Some villages, and Gulbarga was one of the places at that time. So after that experiment was withdrawn, they set up a transmitter and started a television center called Gulbarga Doordarshan. So I joined that center. It was a very small, and since it was small, I had a lot of freedom to do programs. The kind of programs I wanted to do. There was nobody to really monitor what kind of program. So very interesting programs we could make. And then slowly I started liking the medium. And then until 1990, I worked in television medium in Doordarshan. Doordarshan. And then slowly Doordarshan started deteriorating. Commercial elements came, and then the whole environment was going wrong in Doordarshan. Then I decided it's time to quit this organization. And then at that time, University of Hyderabad, it's a central university, very good university. It started a school called Sarojini Naidu School of Performing Arts, Fine Arts and Communication. So as a part of communication department, they had television production as one of the subjects.
Okay.
And they had set up a studio and everything. So they needed some practitioner to come and teach television. So I thought this is the right time to move into teaching. So I left my Doordarshan job and went and joined University of Hyderabad. And then started teaching television production there. I was not a trained teacher, but I slowly, developed it. And then it was fun interacting with young students, teaching them the element. In the process, I also taught cinema to them, as one of the subjects. Film appreciation was one of the subjects. I used to show them a lot of films, discuss with them. And then I'm very happy that out of them, many of my students it was not a film school, it was a communication. It was a proper MA program in communication, like you have in other universities. But yet, a lot of young boys got, fascinated by cinema. And then many of them are now in film medium, most of them are very successful makers in films. Some are doing the very good documentaries for Discovery and other things, and then some have become very good photographers. I think you must have heard Sanu John Varghese.
Yeah, Sarujan.
He did that Nani's film, which was, what is that, Roy?
Sam Singer Roy, yes.
Shyam Singh Roy was. And then Jersey. Those films were shot by him. He's now a very big cameraman in Bombay and Malayalam. He's also directed a film in Malayalam now. So many like that, many of my students have become good filmmakers now. And I taught television for about 9 years in the University of Hyderabad. And then what happened was ETV, they used to run Enadu newspaper.
Right.
And then they wanted to come into television medium. Television was slowly growing in the country. Earlier, Doordarshan was the only channel, only television available for people. But with Z, with the sun coming, the television was privatized in this country. First time, private television channels came. Otherwise, earlier there was only one.
Only one channel. Yes.
So that's why Ramayana, Mahabharata serials could attract so many viewers because there was only one channel there.
Yeah.
So, people had to watch it, and then and therefore, that kind of phenomenon you cannot repeat now because the choice is so many channels now. There's a clutter of
Options are there. Yes.
options are there. So then, therefore, people also wanted to start their own channel. And then I knew somebody there in Inadu. So he said, why don't you come and help? Because you have worked in television medium. So I started, as a consultant, I started initially. And then when in 1995, they launched their first Telugu channel, Telugu channel became a very successful channel, And then, but still, I had not joined ETV then. And I was just, I was a freelancer there. I used to teach in University of Hyderabad, but do programs for them, and then help them in setting up the channel. And then in 2000, they wanted to diversify into other languages. So since Kannada was my mother tongue, I wanted a good channel in Kannada. So I quit my university teaching job. I was a reader in University of Hyderabad, and then joined ETV. And then once I joined there, we launched the channels in Bengal, Bangla, Marathi, Kannada, Oriya, Gujarati, in so many languages. And I used to look after programming for all those channels. And then we did some wonderful work. Initially it was possible to do wonderful work in television. I mean, you definitely cannot make the kind of profound cinema in television, because television audiences are different, film audiences are different. Lot of great filmmakers failed in television because they thought both these mediums are similar, but they are totally different mediums. So you have to understand the elements of each medium to be successful in every medium. So very few filmmakers could grasp the elements of television medium and do a good programming. But otherwise, like a great filmmaker like Mrinal Sen, he failed on television because he made exactly the kind of cinema he made on television. Also, he made similar kind of and those kind of. Unfortunately, on television you can't be very profound. It's a very trivial medium. Television is a very trivial medium. And especially the commercial television now, the job of a creator of any program is to sell the audience to the advertisers.
Tell the audience?
To sell the audience to the advertiser. I am least bothered as a television maker now what kind of impact I am making on audience now. I only want their attention. I want them to see my program. Whether it is doing very good thing to them, whether it is doing any bad thing to them, I am least bothered. As long as you are watching my program and giving me rating, I am a great television program maker. So this is the situation now, because it is a commercial medium now, and all these commercial channels, depend on ad revenues. So you have to cater to maximum number of people. The ratings are very important. So therefore, if you see the kind of programs being made now, they are mostly their class, because you have to cater to a wide spectrum of people. Unlike cinema, you can still make a very serious like a serious filmmaker can. He will not make films for mass audience.
Yeah.
He knows his audience. Okay, this is my audience. I will limit my budget to this audience, and then I can make a good, nice film for that audience. But in television, it is not possible. Television ratings are so important that you have to cater to a large section of population. Yeah. So therefore, you can't really make a great program on television. Very, very difficult. Earlier, at least we could do it. But now it has become impossible. So now it is little obnoxious to work in television.
Yeah.
The medium has been brutalized totally now.
You have actually kind of solved my next 3 questions, I have to say.
Yeah.
Sir, I want to see this. Like, you have called television not probably an approachable medium for young filmmakers.
No, it is approachable as long as you don't have dreams of making great work of art of the television. That's what I think. It is approachable. A lot of young people are coming, but you have to understand what this medium is capable of. A lot of people mistake. They think that I want to make a great film on television. You cannot make a great film on television. It is not possible. Because the audience is such, that it will not appreciate your cinema at all.
Yeah, I understood your point, sir. But there's something troubling me. Sir, sir, I'm an actor.
Yeah.
I've done somewhat. I've written some dialogues here and there for a few of my friends and screenwriting, something like that.
Good.
And my mother, she's an avid serial watcher. She watches all the serials in ZTV or all the channels.
Correct.
And I have never thought about this until she mentioned it. My aim, obviously, when I'm into acting, I think about only films. Correct. My mom, she said, "Hey, you can do more serials. That way a lot of people will know you." And I'm like, wait, why did that thought come into my mind? Although the content, the way the people shoot there, that's a huge mess. That part I understand. I mean, without people being present there, they take reaction shots and send the artists.
Yeah.
That's a very sad thing. So I am aware of the process, but then me being an actor, I have never aimed to come on television. I have always aimed at the 70mm screen only.
Yeah.
So for people like us, for people who want to enter the theater, who want to do work, why do you think people only want to do 70mm and not the TV element? Of course, because there are people like my mom who are addicted to TV, who likes to watch. She knows everything that happens on TV. I mean, there is a dedicated audience, but then is it the return on investment? Like why is that not possible?
No, actually, Aryan, for actors, I think television is a very good medium because it really helps you in honing your skills. Because every day you are going and acting. It's a good practice. But you should work in such environment. Unfortunately, I want to tell you about Telugu serials. Nobody memorizes the dialogue. Everything, there is so much of prompting. For a good actor, in fact, it will disturb him, because you can't get into that mood because there is somebody who is prompting constantly. But in other languages, like Bengal, Bangla, Kannada, and Marathi, there is no dubbing. The sound is recorded as it is shot. So every actor has to memorize the lines. And when it's like theater, you memorize and perform. So there are long takes because actors are able to remember lines and then deliver. In that kind of scenario, it is very good to work, for an actor. Because you see, any branch of filmmaking, acting, direction, cinematography, it is a craft. If you don't practice it, then there is a chances that you might not perform when your chance comes, you will not be able to perform. It is like carpentry, Aryan.
Super.
Then only you can smoothen the wood. At what, suppose you are given that what is that saw or something, after cut, you cannot cut it.
Yes, you have to sharpen it. Yes, yes.
Yes, I practiced it long time back.
Yes.
So any branch of filmmaking is like that. You have to practice it. So to practice that craft, television is a good medium. You should not shy away. I mean, my advice to all young people is that please work in television. One thing, it gives you, every day it gives you an opportunity to work. Secondly, you will get some money also, because and then you can plan. Then you can plan slowly. You can make a short film with that money, and then once you impress your short film, the chances that producers might, trust you more. So, I mean, my sincere advice to young people is that please work in television. Don't think that this medium is, is inferior to cinema. It is not inferior to cinema. Both are different media. That you should understand. Both are different. It's not that it is inferior. If I work in television, I'm not a true artist. It is not like that. You should understand the limitation and then do a good work in television. And definitely it will hone your skills. A lot of good actors have emerged from television. So, my advice to young people is that, don't shy away from working in television. Do it.
Sir, so you have mentioned certain things about attention and options.
Yeah.
So Radhika Madan, she's an actress from television who went into films. She has mentioned this in the interview that, the Ekta Kapoor famous 3 takes, shik, and 3 cuts on the actor's face and all. Sir, am I? 3 cuts on the actor's face. The famous 3 cuts on the actor's face, shik, all the reaction shots.
Correct.
So she explained it in a way that her words, and I'm telling it in Hindi. यार बच्चे के बाल ऐसे ऐसे करते हुए देखते हैं यार, किचन में खाना पकाते हुए देखते हैं यार सीरियल को, अटेंशन को रिटेन तो करना पड़ेगा. So I understood that point very much, but then there are if you look at the counterparts from the West, there is a series called Mentalist. It's my favorite. I watched it all the 7 seasons, 45 to 50 minutes episodes each, at least 9 to 12 times. I don't remember. It's such a gripping tale, I have to say. Mentalist, Grimm, or Young Sheldon. There is so much content that is coming from the West, which happens on TV. And one difference that I've observed is they make weekly 1 episode. We make weekly 7 episodes. That's one part. But then to reach that kind of quality of what they're making, what do we have to do from our end?
You see, there's a major difference in the television of West and television of India, Aryan. Our television is driven mainly by soap operas. So those networks are, in fact, soap opera has become a derogatory word in Western television. If you are working in soap, they look down upon you. So, I mean, it has matured so much now. In fact, today the best writers are not working in cinema in the West. They are working in television.
Yes,
they are working in television.
That's
why they are able to produce such good work there. But unfortunately, in India, the staple of television is daily soap operas. And soap operas, and also the soap operas by nature cater to women.
Absolutely.
So when you're catering to women, and especially Indian women, then you have to make this kind of because again, as I said, the audience, the spectrum is so wide. Because there are people who are educated, but a lot of people are not educated also watching television. And the ratings, their ratings are also important. Their watching is also important for ratings.
Absolutely.
So therefore, the Indian television continues to make soap operas. That's why our programs are so regressive. And as rightly said by that woman, the main problem in television today is how to hold your interest.
Interest, yes.
I'm not bothered about whether this is logical. I'm not bothered whether this is natural. I just somehow want to hold your attention. I'll do something. I'll keep on doing something so that you don't shift from my channel. And not only that, I have to make sure that you come back tomorrow to watch my serial again.
Right. Cliffhangers, yes.
I do some crazy things, just to make. I'll give an example in one of our serials in Canada. Initially, what we did was we made that was the first episode of the serial. In that serial, the younger sister is on deathbed. She's supposed to die. She calls the elder sister and says, since I am dying, I want to tell you one secret. This happens in the first episode, end of the first episode, Aryan. Tells her elder sister, I want to tell you one secret, before dying. The father of my child is your husband.
Okay.
There it ends. The first episode ends. Now, we ran that serial for 3 years without telling the audience how did it happen. Every day people will come and read, okay, today we come to how did it happen? How did it happen? In television, you have to do such kind of gimmicks to
Yes.
So, and we closed the serial without telling because we also did not know how it happened. We just planted that seed in the end of the first episode.
I actually thought this is a thing in the West. I was watching a web series called Blacklist. In that series, something happened in 1990 when the USSR fell down.
Correct.
When the Iron Curtain went down.
Yeah.
And from 7 seasons, I have been waiting. What happened in the 90s?
That is television. There's a rule in television. You not only you make them cry, make them happy, make them laugh, you also make them wait. This is a rule in television. You have to make audience wait so that they come to you next day. So, and that's what I'm saying. A television maker has to understand all this. If he says no, this is not logical, how can it happen? But you cannot work in television.
Super. So I have understood this part on how actors should look at television and all, and so does the makers. But then, sir, before our the modern era of 90s and 2000s, there was an era in Telugu culture of novels.
Yeah.
One of the very famous popular writer is Yandamuri Virendra Nagadu.
Yeah.
Whose novels came into films.
Yeah.
They've translated into films, and some of them tried to be serials. So, sir, when I look at modern OTT's attempts at web series,
correct,
or forget, people say, "Oh, web series, and web series are nothing but a serial." It's just a serial. So, my thing is, a writer like Yandamuri Virendra Nagadu is not available today in a television or an OTT platform. And that's why I think Indian serials are somewhere, at least Telugu serials, forget others, Telugu serials are somewhat lagging behind. Because that kind of, my mom used to tell me how they used to read Venello Adapilla or this one, Ashtavakra, Kashamura, all these novels and all. Every week, every month, they used to wait for the article to get released and with so much eager. And especially Venello Adapilla, I even heard that the kind of ending that the writer has provided, Yandamuri Virendra Nagadu, his house was attacked because the heroine died. So with serials, when people are retaining that kind of attention, what do you think that writers here in today's spectrum should give to the platforms, like even TV series or web series? What do writers have to do? I mean, to match that level, I don't think today's anybody is doing that kind of thing.
No, you see, the problem, Aryan, is that good writers are not coming. That is the greatest lacuna. If you get a good writer, he'll be swallowed by people. I mean, the people are writing to people are listening for good writer. You see, everybody is now into formula.
Yeah.
They'll come, itla chedam sir. There is, how do you create interesting characters? I mean, whether some serious work has to go before you think of a serial. If I create these characters, whether what kind of approach I have to take, whether audience will be interested, will they empathize with these characters? Again, they become like cinema, like today's commercial cinema has become formulaic. Similarly, television has also become formal. I mean, I'm sorry that today OTT is also become formal.
Formless, absolutely.
If you have to make a thriller, you have to make you can't even OTT platforms are not going beyond that.
If I have to look at series that are coming from my region, one sex scene is important. Sorry to say, but one sex scene is important.
True. That's why because OTT has that liberty to show. They want to show.
They want to show it. Yes.
Whether it is required or not, whether it is progressing the story or not, they are not bothered.
Yes.
Similar. This is because there is dearth of good writers now, Aryan. Unfortunately, the best writers are not coming to this medium. So
how to solve this? How to mitigate this?
I know. It's a massive task. I tried when I was in ETV. I tried. We had different workshops. We tried to engage all these people who are writing literature, but somehow they are not able to adapt to this medium. In the West they are lucky. In the West they are lucky because they really get amazing writers. Television is writers' medium. You know that,
right?
Because even a bad serial has to be written because people are constantly speaking. There has to be. You can't, like cinema. You can't take a 1 minute silent camera movement shot. It's not television. If you do it, you are doomed. Because as
sir, in the West, I don't think this is the same culture. Sir. That's my biggest problem.
Yeah.
There was one opportunity that I had, and I wanted to work on a superhero also.
Correct.
Okay. I was working on it. It's okay. I did a web series, a series that aired on TV in the West named Arrow.
Yeah.
Arrow had everything, sir. Like superhero originates from everything.
Correct.
They even have a polka dot man.
Yeah.
I don't understand how to produce that polka dot man. So my point is they're retaining the audience attention.
True.
They are making people hooked. They're everything. They're coming up with such innovative ideas, such beautiful things, and I cringe when we're not able to do it. Like, it's not like we do not have potential. I mean, do you think I don't know where the fault lies?
Yeah, unfortunately, we are. You see, my experience in working in television, Aryan, is that these channels are not also willing to experiment. When you bring in a new content, vadu sir, idi nervous sir, ma Telugu audience ki nervous. I mean, you see, they are not daring, because unless you experiment, you don't know what kind of content will work. One thing is lack of competent people, competent writers, competent makers. Everybody is happy, daily you daily you give an output of 30 minutes, and then that's why there is prompting, because they don't want to waste time. Actors will, suppose if one mistake is committed in dialogue delivery, you have to again take the shot. That again, why waste time? So you prompt it, and that's why you can't see emotions in an actor's face, because they are constantly, their ear is,
listening to the prompting.
So their expression doesn't come out unless you internalize those dialogues. How can the emotions come out? So there are more. So lack of competent people is also the major thing. Plus, as I told you, these channel owners are not willing to experiment. They want to play safe. So that is up there. A lot of experimentation happens, and channels are quite bold there. So that's why they're able to do good work here. Unless this whole attitude changes, you can't. I am not hopeful of television, changing this country.
I have to say that I have a heavy heart listening to that.
No, that is a hard truth, Aryan, because I worked in this medium for 30 years, and I know the psyche of the owners. They just want, see, for them it is a commercial venture.
Of course, everything is related.
They have to make money. That's all. They are not. I mean, whether they are doing any good thing for the language or for literature, I mean, how to increase the sensibility of people, give them good aesthetic values. They are not bothered about that.
Okay, sir. Moving on. It's a very...
I'm sorry I disappointed you. But these are hard facts.
So tell me something about your Gulbarga days, wherein you had the freedom to experiment. And tell me an interesting story that you'll remember all your life.
No. You see, Gulbarga, because it was a small rural center, and as I told you, people in Delhi, in our directorate, they were not aware that there is a station called Gulbarga also. Most of the North Indians who were working. So they gave some budget, and then within that budget, we did some wonderful story. I mean, we used to take from Kannada literature and do it. But the problem there, Aryan, was that since it was rural areas, although we made very good programs, unfortunately, the viewership was less because in rural areas there was no electricity. So during transmission, the electricity used to go off. We are so happy making the program. We want to see the reaction, and then suddenly we realize that nobody has watched the program because there was no electricity. And then these television needs to be in the Sarpanch's office there. Then at that time, so the Sarpanch has to open the Panchayat office, and then he will say, if I switch on daily, it will conk off. So I switch off only on. And after some time, Doordarshan started telecasting films on every Sunday.
Yeah.
He will switch on films. Once it so happened that myself and another my senior colleague of mine, we just wanted to see what kind of impact our programs are having. So we took a jeep, and then from one village to another village, we went on going. And in most of the villages, I told you, there was no current. I mean, either Sarpa block. And it was just dusk time. The sun was setting. It was dark. So we were approaching one Sarpanch office in one small village. So there we could see the flicker of television set. So we thought, oh, wonderful, somebody's watching our program here. So we went there. There we realized that fellow was not watching the program. He had just switched on the television because the bulb had gone, and then he wanted the lights on them so that they can play cards. So all our we were feeling so elated that we are making so wonderful programs. Everything, just collapsed in a minute. So that was the situation then. But still, we were happy because we were making the kind of it was good television then, Aryan. Even in the early years of television, like when we started ETV Kannada, Bangla, and Marathi, we really we took some works of literature and made wonderful serials out of that. Initial days it was possible, but now it is absolutely with these multinational companies coming. They don't look at content; they look at the ratings only. If the numbers are there, it is a good program. If it doesn't have a number, it is a bad program. So and most of them are data analysts. They are least bothered about what kind of content you are putting. Are you getting the rating or not? So now, whereas it is totally brutalized. You just have to get ratings. That's all. They're least bothered whether the content is good or bad. That is the situation now.
So, tell me a story that you remember when you're working, when you're making programs and all, which you'll remember for like, I achieved this. What was
it? Like as I said, during our early days of this commercial, ETV Kannada, we did a wonderful serial called Grabanga. This was directed by Girish Kasarwadi. It was a work of art on television, and using the television medium. Although Kasarwadi was a filmmaker, but he understood what is to be done for television. It was a fantastic serial. And luckily people saw it. It was weekly. Once we used to telecast it, and then people used to wait for that serial. And also, in Kannada, we could deal with many social issues in serials. Farmer suicide, bondage. I mean, this kind of social issues, we could, in the early days of television, we could do. At that time, I really enjoyed working in television because using the television medium, within the parameters of television medium, we were able to tell good stories. But as I said, slowly, things started deteriorating. So those kind of stories I remember, wonderful. We really did some wonderful work, both in Marathi and Bangla. We were pioneers, We really created a tremendous content in Bangla. Very good serials we were making. But again, now the Bangla viewership of 2000 and 2023 are so different now. Even Bangla television has changed tremendously for the worse.
Even Telugu, I have to say, sir, earlier when Ramoji Rao son was there, Suman.
Yeah.
Mr. Suman, he was there. It was a different era altogether.
Oh, that era was different,
Yeah. People still talk about how creative he was and the kind of content he was bringing up to the ground. And what you're saying is absolutely it's not the same anymore. Yeah.
No, it's not. So, things have changed tremendously. Now, as I told you, you take a very good story to them, they will simply say, this is not going to run, sir. Is there any drama? Who is the villain? There has to be a villain. There has to do that. And unfortunately, out of 100 serials, only 2 or 3 will work. But still, they want to believe that formula. I have so many times suggested, let us break it. Let us, in television, it is strategy to break a program also. You bring you disrupt it. You bring a different kind of program to bring your viewers to your channel. But for that, you have to experiment. Earlier, we used to experiment a lot. Nowadays, it is not possible. People are not waiting to take any chances now. In the process, they are repeating. Say what?
Yes.
You just share from one channel to other channel. The form is same. As I told, done, same kind of format. Those forms will continue. Similar kind of makeup everybody is wearing now. Everybody is flashy dressed. Nothing changes. From one channel to other channel, the things are same everywhere. So, but that is a problem now.
So, sir, I have to adhere to time. I'm closing it. But then I have one last thing. It's a tedyQ. tedyQ as in Irwin Teddy. He asked this question to you.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not me. It's not Aryan. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you're an extremely enthusiastic and passionate cinema soul.
Yeah.
Do you think you have anything more to contribute to the world of cinema?
I mean, I see at any age you can contribute to cinema. When Akira Kurosawa was 80, he said, my best film, I'm still trying to make my best film.
Absolutely.
No, I have a lot of stories with me. I have a lot of, I want to do it. But let me see, if there is opportunity comes, as I told you, when inside me, there are a lot of things to come out. So hopefully I can contribute something, But definitely, if young filmmakers want any advice or anything, I am there, always there. So that kind of contribution I can do. But from creative side also, I have a lot of ideas. But again, I have to find the right people to.
Sir, if you want people to guide, I am here. I am taking the first seat.
Yeah. No, welcome, Aryan. If your friends, if they want any advice, if they want any feedback of their program, I am willing to give them. No problem.
Sir, it's lovely to have you on our show, sir. I'm sure many friends and many like-minded people would get inspired by this show. Because there is a lot we have shared, and I would love to talk with you on air, posting a video a lot more, because I have said this many times during my shows. This particular phrase: when an old man dies, the library is being burned.
Correct.
It's a library of knowledge. You being the ex-dean of RAFT, I can understand what kind of knowledge you have possessed, and thank you for sprinkling that for my partners.
My parting advice to you and other young people who are involved in who want to make films, experience are very important. When you are narrating a story, craft. You can in today's scenario, Aryan, you can't make technically bad films. You can't make. Well, if you try hard, you can't make technically bad, because cinema has become. I mean, everything can be corrected nowadays. During that time when we early days, we never knew until we saw the results. We never knew.
What is the result? Yes.
Now, the form is absolutely no problem. Everybody can make a technically good film, but what is in that film? Your experiences, your understanding of life. For that, you have to assimilate a lot of things in life, especially young people. You should read, a lot of literature. You should, watch a lot of good cinema, especially earlier masters. How beautifully they conveyed some, profound things. So in cinematic terms. So my advice to young filmmakers is that gather as much experience as possible. Write some original things and then make. Definitely, you'll succeed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Audience, that's the end. Please like, share, and subscribe to tedyCINEMAsaloon presents AaryanTalks. I hope you have enjoyed, not just enjoyed, you have learned something from the great man here. MANVI, can you say to the audience, please like, share, and subscribe?
Please like and share. This is tedyCINEMAsaloon. It's a wonderful channel, because especially for young people, it will be very informative. Please subscribe the channel.
Thank you, audience. Thank you for joining us. Aryan signing off.